Learning objectives: to solve rational equations and to use rational equations to solve problems. There are three types of questions come under the topic of solving rational equations. The first type is to use cross products to solve equations. For example, Cabrini can run 3 miles an hour faster than Michael. Cabrini can run 5 miles in the same time it takes Michael to run 3 miles. Solve 5 over x plus 3 equals 3 over x to find how fast Michael can run. Check the solution. In this problem, we are asked to solve this equation as well as we need to check the solution. Let's start with, here is the given equation. We need to apply the cross product rule to solve this equation. That is 5x equals 3 times x plus 3. Next, we have to use the distributive property. That is 5x equals 3x plus 9. The next step is to isolate the variable x. For that, we need to subtract 3x from both the sides. So we get 2x equals 9. On dividing both sides of this equation by 2, we get x equals 9 over 2 or 4.5. So let's conclude that Michael can run 4.5 miles per hour. The next step is to check whether this value satisfies the given equation. For that, let's start with the original equation. Here is the original equation. Now we have to plug in the value of x in this equation. So we get 5 over 4.5 plus 3 equals 3 over 4.5. On solving, we get 5 over 7.5 equals 3 over 4.5. That implies 0.6 bar equals 0.6 bar. That means the given equation is 2 for x equals 4.5. So let's conclude that x equals 4.5 is a solution of the given equation. It's time for your turn now. Here is the question. Please pause the video here and resume when you have your answer. Alright, here is the answer. X equals minus 3. Well, let's move on to the type 2 problems. That is to use the least common divisor LCD to solve rational equations. For example, solve 5 over x plus 1 minus 1 over x equals 2 over x square plus x. Here you can see that the denominators are different. If the denominators are different, first we have to make the denominator same by finding out the least common divisor. Here, the least common divisor of x and x plus 1 is x times x plus 1. Our next step is to make the denominator equal to this LCD. Here is the original equation. To make the denominator equal to LCD, first we have to multiply both sides of this equation with the LCD. That is x times x plus 1 multiplied by 5 over x plus 1 minus 1 over x equals x times x plus 1 times 2 over x square plus x. Next, we have to apply the distributive property. That is, we need to multiply each term inside the bracket with the term outside the bracket. So we get this step. After simplifying, we get 5x minus x plus 1 equals 2. Again, we need to apply distributive property here and then simplify. We get 4x minus 1 equals 2. The next step is to isolate the variable x. After solving, we get x equals 3 over 4. Therefore, let's conclude that the solution of the given equation is x equals 3 over 4. Moving on, it's time for your turn now. Here is the question and the options. Please pause the video here and resume when you have your answer. Alright, let's check the answer. The correct answer is Q equals 8. Now we are at the third type of problems, that is regarding extraneous solutions. What is meant by extraneous solution? Extraneous solutions are solutions which results in a zero in the denominator, which must be excluded from the solution set of the rational equation. Let's learn about it in detail with the help of an example. Here is the example. Solve 3x over x minus 1 plus 6x minus 9 over x minus 1 equals 6. State any extraneous solutions. Look at this question. Here you can see that the denominators are same. If the denominators are same, we can add or subtract the numerators. Here is the original equation. Now let's make the common denominator, that is x minus 1. Then we get 3x plus 6x minus 9 over x minus 1 equals 6. On solving, we get 9x minus 9 over x minus 1 equals 6 over 1. Next, you have to apply the cross product rule for solving this. So we get 9x minus 9 equals 6 times x minus 1. Apply the distributive property, we get 9x minus 9 equals 6x minus 6. Here we can see that the variables are there on both sides of the equation. So transpose like variables to one side and the constant to the other side. So we get 9x minus 6x equals minus 6 plus 9. On solving, we get 3x equals 3 and x equals 1. If we plug in this value in the given equation, we can see that the denominator results in a 0. That means x equals 1 results in a 0 in the denominator of the original equation, which is undefined. Therefore, it is an extraneous solution. Well, it's time for your turn now. Here is the question and options. Please pause the video here and resume when you have your answer. Alright, let's find out the correct answer. The answer is no solution.
Now before we continue, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. As a reminder, we offer private and group online math lessons on Zoom, where we cover all UAE National Curricula American and British curriculums. We also have the best MSAT math test preparation course with a 50% discount for groups. The first session is always free. So if you are interested in a free lesson, click the link in the description below. To book a lesson, you can always send us a direct message on Instagram at Mr. Mathematics. Okay, with that said, let's get back to our lesson.
That is, to use rational equations to solve problems. In this part, we are going to talk about two types of word problems that involve rational equations. They are work time word problem and distance rate time word problems. To solve such kind of questions, we need to carefully analyze and understand the word problems. Let's try one question. Here is an example. At his part-time job at the zoo, Rashid can clean the bird area in 2 hours. Reham can clean the same area in 1 hour and 15 minutes. How long would it take them if they work together? That means we have to find out how much time will be taken by them if they work together. For that, let us assume that if they work together, they will take 3 hours to complete the job. So as I mentioned earlier, first of all, we have to understand the problem and then plan the problem. Here, Rashid takes 2 hours to complete the job and Reham takes 1 and 1/4 hours. And we need to find the rate that each person works and the total time t that it will take them if they work together. What is our plan, or how do we plan about it? The main plan is we have to find how much of the job or what fraction of the job did they finish it in 1 hour. That is, Rashid's rate is 1/2 of the job per hour and Reham's rate will be 4/5 of the job per hour. Now let's solve this question. Here it is given that Rashid takes 2 hours to complete the entire work. That means in 1 hour, Rashid can complete 1/2 of the job. Similarly, Graham takes 1 hour and 15 minutes to complete the entire work. That means in 1 hour, Graham can complete 4/5 of the job. Also, it is given that if both of them work together, they can finish the work in t hours. That means in 1 hour, they can complete 1/t part of the job. Therefore, according to the problem, we get 1/2 plus 4/5 equals 1/t. On solving, we get 13/10 equals 1/t. That means t equals 10/13. So we can conclude that they finished the work in 10/13 hours, which is about 46 minutes. Moving on, it's time for your turn now. Here is the question and options. Please pause the video here and resume when you have your answer. Alright, let's find out the answer. The answer is 1 and 1/5 hours. Now let's look at the rate problem. Here is the example. A bus leaves a station and travels an average of 50 miles per hour towards a city. Another bus leaves the same station 20 minutes later and travels to the same city traveling 60 miles per hour. How long will it take the second bus to pass the first bus? How do we solve this question? The first step is to record the given information on a table and then we need to frame the equation using the recorded data. Let's look at the table now. Here is our table. The table consists of 4 columns and 2 rows. The first column is to enter the details of the bus. Here in this question, it has been mentioned about 2 buses and that information is recorded in the first column. Next, we have to record the distance covered. Here you can see that both buses have traveled to the same city. Therefore, the distance covered is same and it has been marked by the letter D. Next, we have to record the speed of the buses. Here we can see that the first bus traveled at a speed of 50 miles per hour and the second bus traveled at a speed of 60 miles per hour. This information is recorded in the third column. And finally, we have to enter the time. Let T represents the time. You can see that there is a time gap of 20 minutes between the buses. Therefore, the time can be represented by T and T minus 1/3. Now our table is ready. The next step is to frame the equation using this data. Here, since both buses have traveled the same distance, when bus 2 passes bus 1, we can write the following equation. That is, distance for bus 1 equals distance for bus 2. We know that distance equals rate times time. So we get 50 times t equals 60 times t minus 1/3. Now let's apply distributive property in this equation. We get 50t equals 60t minus 60 times 1/3, that is 20. Now the variable is present on both sides of this equation. So let's transpose the like terms to one side. We get 50t minus 60t, that is minus 10t equals minus 20. On solving, we get t equals 2. So let's conclude that the time it will take the second bus to pass the first bus is 2 minus 1/3, or 1 2/3 hours after the second bus leaves. Moving on, it's time for your turn now. Here is the question and options. Please pause the video here and resume when you have your answer. Alright, let's find out the answer. The answer is 5/21 hours.